one more class. Let's talk about environment today. This is one of the hottest topics in aviation. And my goal here is, I don't have the goal to make you guys an expert in environmental solutions because I'm not one. The goal here is with the Aviation English. I just want to help you guys understand this topic a little better and ultimately be able to talk about this, answer questions, especially the ones we have in ICAO. And on interviews, because people are asking a lot about the next challenges in aviation. How are the manufacturers dealing with the environmental solutions? If there are benefits on changing our fuel and fluids on board. So today we're gonna solve everything. We're gonna talk. I'm not gonna say we're gonna go superficial, but we are gonna go into every little topic. All right. By the way, everything I tell you guys here, I want you to cross-check the information, look for the official sources, so ICAO, FAA, and the local authority in your country. Boeing website's pretty good, Airbus as well, and of course, there are many different articles on the internet about this, all right? So don't take everything here as the ultimate truth, and let's start. Guys, let's start with one thing here, pronunciation, right? Environment, okay? When we talk about environment, we are not actually we're not only talking about forests and greenhouse gases. Environment is everything. For example, CRM creates a good environment within the crew, right? It's an environment for everybody. And when we talk about the environment in aviation, we are talking about the pollution and everything. Okay, so let's just start by giving a little perspective here. I put a little paragraph here for you guys. So you guys are gonna see that in this class, most things are gonna be written because I want to show you the vocabulary. I want you to see the vocabulary and really see how things are written. What is the pronunciation for each one of these words? Okay, so let's do it. Let's start talking about challenge. When you talk about challenges, we are actually talking about the next steps. We are talking about the future, the things we need to overcome, right? So a challenge is something we need to overcome. So the environment, what's the difference between environment and environmental? Just the purpose of the word, all right? Environmental challenges, ambientais, environment, ambiente, all right? The translation to Portuguese would be that, right? So we have, for example, environmentally friendly products, all right? So there's no question that pollution is one of the biggest problems in aviation. The carbon footprint is growing, and the entire aviation community is working hard to limit greenhouse gas emissions. Some inefficiencies and materials are very harmful for the environment, all right? I know it's a beautiful paragraph, but what I want you guys to focus on is this, the vocabulary, all right? If you want to write this down, like the main vocabulary, so this is something you can do that will help while you're studying. For example, you have your notebook there. You can write something like this: environment, all right? You can have the keywords here. And then last class we talked about runway. So you have runway incursion. You have the keywords here. Now, what do you have? You have all the topics we normally discuss in aviation and all the keywords. If you have around 10 keywords and you are nervous in the test, you will probably remember 5. 5 is enough to do a perfect test. Okay, so start writing down all the keywords and all the necessary things so you can pretend you know a lot about the topic. All right, so here I want you to make sure you know, you always mention pollution, carbon footprint, greenhouse gas emissions, and harmful. Harmful means it's dangerous, it's a problem. And guys, help me here. What is greenhouse gas? I know most people never heard about this, and some of you have. Perfect. That's it. This is in Portuguese. right? If that's not the translation, I want you to pause it right now and look for the meaning, all right? So normally when we have pollution, we have greenhouse gas emissions, all right? And consequently, we have a carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is basically a way to measure the impact you have in the environment. And aviation, as we know, we burn a lot of fuel. The noise is beautiful, but we burn a lot of fuel, and actually we are bad for the environment, right? The emissions and everything is pretty bad for the environment. So this is a way for you to study. Topic, keyword, topic, keyword. That's what I wanted to, that's what I want you to do, right? So guys, when we talk about something as important as environment, flight safety, future, we have some players, right? We have some people that can help. It's not only one person or one entity that will help. Now, we hear a lot about aviation industry. Oh, the aviation industry, the aviation industry. Who belongs to the aviation industry, right? Who is a part of this? Can anybody help me, guys? Who is the aviation industry? What can we put here? Manufacturers, beautiful.
Companies.
Perfect. Manufacturers, companies, operators, whatever. What else?
Airports.
Airports, nice. Any other idea? Who else? I'm waiting.
The clients.
No, the clients, I wouldn't put them here because they're the clients. There's nothing they can do. For example, I'm trying to set this up, but I'm just making a mess. So you guys are telling me you are not a part of the industry? You are not a you are not a manufacturer. You're not a company. You're not an airport. You're a pilot. So pilots are a part of the aviation industry, right? We can mention, of course, the flight attendants, mechanics, everybody, the personnel, right, the people. But let's talk about ourselves. Let's talk about pilots here, okay? I'm gonna limit for pilots because this is a place where we can make an impact, right? Right? God, I don't know. I think this is in Portuguese. Okay, that's why. That's why it's correct and everything. So we have the companies, we have ourselves, right? God, this is horrible. So we have ourselves, we have the airports, and who is the ultimate one? The one that makes us angry all the time.
Regulations.
Good. Who creates the regulations?
Federative sports.
Sorry?
It's like ANAC.
Perfect. So those are the aviation authorities, all right? So we have the authorities. Good. They create the regulations. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is the aviation industry. Of course, I might be forgetting someone. As I already said, pilots are a part of the aviation industry. Can include everybody, ground staff, people who work in the terminals, right, with the passengers who load the airplanes, cabin crew, mechanics, supervisors, whatever. Let's talk about ourselves here. So basically for us, the aviation industry will be the authorities, manufacturers, companies, airports, and pilots. So everybody here has to do their part. And this is important, especially for the test, because as I said, it doesn't matter if the authorities create regulations, pilots don't follow. If the manufacturers create new engines, airlines don't buy. Or if the airports create new procedures and the manufacturers don't comply with. Doesn't matter. Everybody has to work together. So everybody together will shape the aviation industry. It has to be a joint effort, right? So, for example, of course, we might have problems or whatever, but normally aviation authorities, they talk to pilots, they talk to the companies, they talk to the manufacturers. They will create the guidelines, right? Based on this feedback, they will create everything and everybody will do their part. The companies have a responsibility, pilots have responsibilities. And just to make this very clear, why are we here? Your company didn't tell you to come here. The authorities didn't tell you to come here. The airport didn't tell you to come here. The only reason you're here is for yourself, all right? You're here because if you become a better pilot, everybody wins. Everybody wins. So, oh, but my company doesn't pay me a lot. I wanted more money. All right, become a better pilot, change companies, go make more money, all right? Oh, no, but I'm only here because Anaki is telling me to get the ICAO level. I hate English. I don't like the class. I don't like anything. All right, so learn English. Leave Brazil, leave Anaki. All right, so everybody here works together. Pilots do their part, the airports do their part. We make reports, we listen to reports, and that's how aviation works. There are many pieces involved. It's not only you in the airplane, right? The only reason you're sitting in an airplane is because somebody manufactured the airplane, somebody certified the aircraft, someone bought the airplane, and someone gave a place for takeoff and land, to take off and land, right? So these are the aviation industry. This is the aviation industry. And this is not only for the environmental challenges, what we're talking today, is for everything. This is all involved. When people talk about aviation, what do you think about the aviation industry in the future? We can go point by point, all right? So basically, when we talk about the aviation industry, this is the power balance we have here. We have the authorities who will provide directions, create standards, determine regulations, and of course, supervise and oversee if everybody's doing their jobs, if everybody's okay. They can implement fines. They can create some incentives. So, for example, the companies that start using environmentally friendly products will receive a bonus, I don't know, in their taxes, something like that. That's how it works. So they will create the directions, standards, and they will punish or motivate whoever is doing a good job. Below the authorities, we have the manufacturers, which are basically Boeing, Airbus, Bombardier, Embraer, Cessna, Piper, and so on. Cirrus, right? Cirrus is, they are growing a lot, and so on. The manufacturers will invest in fuel, engines, technology, and materials. They will build what we are using. The manufacturers can be, as I mentioned, the ones from the aircraft, or we can have manufacturers of navigation systems. We can have manufacturers of flight screens. So there are many people involved, not only the big airplane manufacturers. They also buy from other companies. So everybody here is investing in technology, material, efficiency. After that, we need a place to be. We need a place to stay. We talked about airports a few weeks ago. And of course, when we talk about airports, we have infrastructure, procedures, management, resources. So if the authorities create good regulations, the manufacturers have the best technology available, but the airports they don't have good infrastructure, the procedures are not modern, doesn't matter. We are going to have a problem here, all right? And of course, we also have the airlines who will basically pay everything. The airlines will provide training for the people. They will establish the procedures, buy the equipment, and perform maintenance, all right? After, right in the bottom of everything is us. They are the pilots. Pilots will basically comply with the procedures. They will implement all the techniques. Everybody here will create guidelines. The pilots will comply with them. We will plan and set up the airplane. So these guys will create the standards. These guys will create the machine. They will write the manual. These guys will get their manual and say, okay, this is the equipment you're going to use. This is how you're going to use it. The companies will say, okay, but here, this is how you're going to do it. The pilots will comply with everything. We have to respect the company's SOP, the airport layout, the airport's procedures, also talk to the manufacturers, and of course, everybody's under the aviation authority. So this is the aviation industry. When they ask something about flight safety, you can go point by point. You can choose one, talk about that one. For example, how can the aviation industry increase flight safety? Well, I don't know a lot about the industry. I'm only a pilot. But as a pilot, I always respect all the recommended procedures. I use the correct techniques in my airplane. I also plan and calculate everything before flying. And I try to maintain a good configuration during the entire flight. That's what I normally do to contribute with flight safety. Aviation industry. I don't have to talk about everybody. I am the aviation industry. I'm the pilot. Okay, guys. So that's how we talk about this generalized question. We narrow down. We bring to our reality. We can answer anything. Okay. So, getting back to our topic, we already know who belongs to the aviation industry, what the aviation industry is all about. And let's get back to our topic, talk about environment, pollution, carbon footprint, and sustainable aviation. Guys, there are some pillars, there are some things that will contribute for a sustainable aviation. And does anybody know how we can improve environmental solutions or implement environmental solutions in aviation? Any idea?
Biodiesel.
Sorry?
Biodiesel.
Biodiesel, right? So we can invest in fuel. Fuel is the biggest one. Sorry?
Development faster routes.
Faster routes. Perfect.
All right.
So we can have we can change the way we operate.
New materials.
Beautiful. So it's the same thing as Dario said. Dario just put here in the chat new engines, and you said new materials. So we can talk about technology. We can talk about technology, and what else, guys? So we can invest in fuel. We can optimize our operation, SOP. We can invest in technology. And what else? New routes such as AirNav. Yes, this will come into operations. There's one thing you guys are not considering. So this is from the manufacturers, of course, and the companies. Fuel. We can change the fuel we use. It's the biggest concern. We can optimize our operation. We can invest in technology with electric planes, new materials, more precise systems. And this is not up to us. We can make solutions. We can provide recommendations or guidelines, but we cannot implement these as pilots. We can talk about infrastructure. Imagine one thing here. So this is a big point as well. So imagine you are flying an electric plane. You have the fastest route possible, the best GPS, everything is perfect. But you stay 3 hours taxi before taking off. We need infrastructure. Or the flight is perfect. We are using biodiesel, which 70% less harmful for the environment. We are flying. When we get to a major airport, we have to hold for 2 hours before landing. So everybody has to work together, okay? So we need investments in fuel. And I put fuel here, but I'm talking about everything we use in aviation. We have to improve the operations. We have to invest in technology. And we need good infrastructure. We need bigger airports. We need efficient procedures. So imagine everything's okay, the airport is big enough, but it only operates visually. The weather is bad, we're gonna have to alternate more flight, more fuel, more hassle. So we can, when we talk about sustainable aviation, I want you guys to always have in mind fuel, operation, technology, infrastructure, right? So let's make a breakdown of everything, and in the end, I'm gonna fill in these gaps for you. All right, we're gonna know a lot more about this topic, guys. Before I continue, any questions? Everything okay? Can I continue?
Sure.
Yep.
We can start with the infrastructure. Is the main system in aviation? Or no?
I wouldn't say there's a main one because everything has to work together. For example, imagine we have a great infrastructure, but you are flying a Navajo. Doesn't matter. You're still gonna harm the environment. You know, everything has to work properly. You are flying a great airplane, your biodiesel and everything, but you have the worst route possible. It's not helping as well. So to get a sustainable aviation, we need to improve all areas, and everybody here has to do their part, including us. They give you all the necessary infrastructure, all the necessary technology, but you always make mistakes with your configuration. Your planes is lower than normal. It's going to take more flight time. It's going to increase the operational costs. So it's logic, simple logic here. So now I want to make a breakdown of everything. Let's start with the technology. So when we talk about technology, actually, this is one thing that always fascinates me with aviation. It's basically that it's one of the most technologically and innovative sectors in the world. And of course, new technologies are here to help. New technologies are here to increase flight safety, of course, reduce the costs, and be more environmentally friendly. So they also decrease the greenhouse gas emissions. So aviation is already a very technological area, right? Since the beginning of times. And when we talk about the technology in aviation, actually what we are talking about is fuel efficiency. They research materials, they change the engine's performance, they change the fuel. We are always looking for efficiency, all right? So fuel efficiency is critical to the aviation industry, not just for environmental reasons, but financial ones. Fuels can take up to 30% of airline costs. This is in America. In Brazil, I think it's going to be around 40, 50 because they have dollars and reales and they have the currency exchange, right? So I put just here an average. So the good thing for the environment is that if we become more efficient, flights become cheaper. So now everybody wins. The environment wins, the industry wins, the companies win, the airports win, pilots win, everybody wins. So that's why we are seeing so much effort, we are seeing so much investment, so many people working in making the aircraft more fuel efficient. And when I talk about fuel efficiency, again, I'm talking about everybody, because it doesn't matter if the engine is very efficient, but the pilot isn't. The pilot is very efficient, they're flying on Navajo. Not gonna work. Everybody has to be efficient. So fuel efficiency is not only with the engine, it's with the entire operation. We need to be efficient, all right? So we talk about fuel efficiency. We can also talk about precise navigation equipment that will provide direct routes and reduce the flight time, right? And in the future, we'll be able to see electric and hybrid aircraft on short-haul flights. I might be wrong here, but I think there is an electric aircraft, right, being used for flight training. I think in Brazil, they started it, or they will start. I saw something like that. It's like a small airplane, looks like a Cessna 152 or whatever. And it's fully electric, right? I can see, I've been seeing these airplanes. Am I right? Does anybody know about this?
I think it is as safe as
the project. But
Safe?
what I think, yes.
Okay, that's a company right in Brazil. Nice. So, yeah, I think that some companies are investing in electric airplanes. Personally, I think it's possible. It's very hard to imagine an electric Airbus A330, for example, or an electric 777 because the battery weight and everything. But when we talk about smaller airplanes, I think it's possible. I think it's doable. So I think that in the future, we will see some electric regional airplanes, especially for recreation or something like that. I think that it will be a future. So when we talk about technological improvements, we're talking about fuel efficiency, so better engines. The engines will be more fuel efficient. Navigation will be more precise, so we can reduce flight time with direct routes and also low visibility procedures, so we don't have to alternate and hold so much. And in some aircraft, we might even see some electric or hybrid engines. All right, this is the first topic. Second topic, we have the famous SAF, which stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel. I don't know how much you guys research about this and how much you know about it, but every time I open an aviation blog or something, they're saying, no, Air India is investing $1 billion in SAF. United Airlines just bought a company that produces SAF. SAF stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel. It's a kind of biodiesel, biofuel. There are many different versions. Everybody's looking for the most efficient one. And this is normally something, for example, this is not up to the pilots. I mean, I don't see a pilot that will decide the fuel they're going to use the airplane. That's up to the manufacturers, the companies, and the aviation authorities. But again, everybody's working together. And the airports, they need to provide this, right? It doesn't matter. Everybody creates something and you cannot refuel in the airport. So when we talk about the sustainable aviation fuel, we are actually talking about the development. This is the word I want you to use. The development of alternative solutions that could be sustainable. This will, of course, contribute to the emission reduction strategy of aviation. And since the first biofuel test flight on commercial aircraft took place in 2018, there has been a huge amount of work. So we had one aircraft, we had one flight 15 years ago with the first biofuel. And nowadays it's becoming more and more common. Hopefully every fuel is going to be environmentally friendly in the future. So biodiesel is starting to show great potential on smaller jet airplanes. When we talk about an A380, a 777, a 787, it's a different game. These airplanes, they operate differently because of the amount of fuel. So we need to go step by step, right? And aviation fuels have great potential for securing sustainable growth because they're cheaper, they reduce operational costs, and of course, they're good for the environment. So I think that the company or whoever the manufacturer, I don't know, whoever gets the best biofuel will run the game for a while. So I think that this is why everybody's running, because we know it's possible. We know we can change the way airplanes are fed, right, with fuel. But we still don't have a perfect model. So I think that's one of the biggest things. So again, technological improvements, fuel, also very important. And guys, just stop here for 1 second. How is the English? Too fast, too slow? Can you guys follow? Do you want me to reduce a little bit the speed, the vocabulary, or whatnot?
Perfect.
It's good? Just put understood or something in the chat, just so I can see if everybody understands. Because if you don't understand, you can send me something privately if you don't want to expose yourself. Because my goal here is for everybody to understand. So if you put a go ahead or something like that, I don't know.
The closed caption help us or not?
Oh, is everybody using the closed caption? I'm not. I don't even know where to. Oh yeah, it's right here. I don't use it because I'm not going to turn it on because I'll get distracted with that. So, oh, by the way, Instagram, they just gave me the instant captions there as well. So I don't know if you guys follow me there. Every time I speak, I can have the captions there. It's pretty fun as well because it's automatic and everybody can understand. So let's do it. Technology, fuel, and as I said, operational improvements, right? Doesn't matter the engine, the technology, if we are doing a horrible job. So at every step of an operation, there are opportunities to reduce fuel burn. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you can do it better. That's a motto I live by. So at every step of the operation, there are opportunities to reduce fuel burn and, of course, emissions. More fuel burn, more emissions, that's obvious. And airlines are saving fuel through more efficient procedures and weight reduction measures. I'm pretty sure some of you here fly in airlines where you taxi with an engine out, right? It's like engine out procedure or something like that. One engine tax or something like that. What does burn mean? Guys, help me. What is burn? I cannot translate things here. Fuel burn. Perfect. Thank you. You got it, Adeilson? Did you hear?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. So companies, they have taxi in, taxi out, one engine procedures, and we turn on the airplanes with an auxiliary unit, right? So airlines are saving fuel through more efficient operations, and this can range from ensuring the plane's engines are clean to developing and using new arrival procedures. Look how funny this is. Sometimes people are investing so much in fuel. Oh, we need to invest in fuel. We need to have the best fuel possible, the best technology. But we also need to make sure that the engines are clean. Doesn't matter. Everything's perfect, but the engine's dirty. That's why I said everybody here will have to work together. Everybody here has to do their part. They create the best fuel, the best guidelines, the whatnot. And the engine is dirty, so it's not efficient enough, okay? And we can also say that some airlines taxi to the runway using just one engine instead of two. I think most companies use this today, right? They taxi with only one engine, the other one in idle, something like that.
Taxi, tax out procedure.
Taxi in, tax out, right? Yeah, the taxi in, tax out procedure. I don't think it's mandatory, but that's a way companies do it. And this is what's funny. Not for the environment. That's okay. That's fun. That's nice. But because it reduces the costs. So everybody wins, as I said. It's a win-win. So here I put a little scheme just to get it easier for everybody to understand. This is what we do during flight. We load the aircraft, we taxi, we climb, we land. That's a flight. I don't care what you fly. I don't care how much money you make, if you're a private pilot, if you're the master captain or whatever. Every flight is the same. It can be a Piper Cub or an A380. You load, you taxi, you take off, you land. Everybody operates the same way. That's how aviation works. So, operational improvements. Basically, we have many areas that can be improved. First of all, everybody can see me, yeah. First of all, when parked at airport gates, aircraft must be powered to provide air conditioning, electricity, and also engines. So this is not done by the engines. This is not done by that. It's done by the ground power unit. However, some of them still use fuel, so I don't see the game, but some of them are electric already. So it depends on the electrical source, but that's another thing we're going to discuss. So when aircraft are parked at the gates, they can provide air conditioning, electricity, and everything without starting the engines, right? So we have the units to help us. After the airplane is loaded, the passengers have embarked, we are going to taxi. We have, as aircraft taxi, this is not good here. Oh, I don't know why. I just lost something here. As aircraft taxi from the gate to the runway, there are techniques in operations, such as single-engine taxiing or the development of self-driving devices, which enable aircraft to reach the runway without using full engine power. I've seen this already. Doesn't work very well, but I mean, people are trying. there has been studies, there has been some attempts of aircraft going to the runway without the use of their engines, because an aircraft needs a lot of power, a lot of engine to move. So it's basically some electric cars attached to the nose wheel. They will move the aircraft until the runway, up until the runway. This way, they will not have the engines on. It will save around 2 tons of fuel for flight. So it's good. It's not working very well nowadays, but people are trying, So as Wilson told us, we have the taxi in, taxi out procedures, which is basically single engine taxiing. Of course, we need to avoid ground delays. So, for example, you see there's a long line for takeoff. There's no reason to push back. Just wait for everybody to go, and after that you can push back and leave. Especially, there are some airports, of course, around the world about this, but I know that JFK gets pretty chaotic. Sometimes pilots cannot take off because they need to wait for their refueling truck, because they have just spent they have just been waiting for takeoff for so long that they need to refuel before going. So that's up to the airport operation as well. And after takeoff, aircraft will burn less fuel when they have less weight on board. So airlines are finding ways to reduce the weight of items carried. Everything from food service to seats and carpets to loading just the right amount of water for each flight. Everything counts. Rather than filling the tanks each time, this results in significant savings. We have less weight. The aircraft will burn less fuel. So everything, as I said, everything matters. Even the color of the airplane has an impact, right, on the savings. So they always choose the color, the amount of paint and everything to improve operations. Ultimately, everybody wants to save money, and consequently, we are going to be environmentally friendly too. So airlines can reduce the weight, can change their operation. And finally, we have the continuous descent approach. So let's see if I can get this. Yeah, I got it. We have the continuous descent operations, allowing aircraft to almost glide into the airport with engines at a very low setting. So this not only saves fuel, but also reduces noise impacts on surrounding communities. It is being used more and more now around the world, depending on weather and traffic conditions. So we normally descend. You can descend with engines almost on idle. This is good because it saves fuel, and it also respects the famous noise abatement procedure. I think it's in Frankfurt, right? We have one of the longest approaches, and the engines are almost off. You can even hear the air going through the wings. I don't know if anybody here has ever landed or been to Frankfurt. Let me know. I think they have a very optimized and incredible noise abatement procedure there. It's just a continuous descent with the engines are almost in idle. This is very nice because it saves money, saves fuel, and of course respects the abatement procedure.
That's like in London.
It's in London?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That is particular to establish maintenance like that. Which is still continued of that descent to levy.
Well, yeah, you need to make the continuous descent. I didn't know about London. It makes sense because of the 750. I know about Frankfurt. Frankfurt is like almost silenced. It feels like the airplane is not even on anymore. We are just calling. So guys, operational improvements. This is the area that matters the most for us. I'm gonna give you the tip how to. Here I'm showing you all the content. After I finish the recording, then when we start, I will show you how to show this in the test. All right, guys. Technology, operation, fuel, everything counts. And last but not least, we'll have to talk about the infrastructure efficiencies. As I said, if everything's okay, but you have to hold for 1 hour before landing, you just lost all your efficiency. So we can see that there's a significant impact on emissions from congestion at airports. Of course, when flights have to hold or circle before they land, or wait on taxiways before taking off. It is inconvenient for the passengers and also adds to burnt fuel or fuel usage. These inefficiencies are continually assessed. It means that everybody's working on this to determine whether operating restrictions on flights or new facilities like runways are needed. So, for example, let's take out the corporate jets from Congonhas, because of the amount of weight and everything like that. So everybody's always studying how to better optimize, how to reduce the delays, holdings, and whatever. Right, guys, until now, easy work. Let me see. All right, that's it. These are the areas we are going to work on. As we've established beforehand, technology, let's do a checklist here. Technology done. We invest in new fuel, in new engines, right? Fuel efficiency, GE90 is perfect. The precise navigation, we search for alternatives with biofuel, biodiesel, the SAF, right? Sustainable Aviation Fuel. We optimize the operation by establishing new standards, new procedures, and airport authorities do their part and change how we operate, who can operate at each airport, there's lots, flight time, and everything. So this is what we can do as an industry to contribute with environmental solutions. And this is exactly what we had here already. So sustainable aviation pillars. This is very nice for you to print. If you want to print, tag me on Instagram. I'm going to repost you guys. Let's see. When we talk about the sustainable aviation pillars, we have all these, okay? And these are the keywords I want you to have. So when we talk about technological improvements, we can mention fuel efficiency, navigation, materials, engines. We talk about SAF. We're talking about eco-friendly fuel, biofuel, emissions, fuel burn, operational improvements. We are actually talking about the procedures, weight, power setting, and electric engines as well. And when we talk about infrastructure efficiency, we are mentioning technology, coordination, airports, and routes. Everything has to come together so we have a sustainable aviation, all right? Hard topic. I know most people are not very fond of environmental solutions. Not my area. I just want to burn fuel and take off. But I mean, it's important for us. It's important for our growth. So we need this. Nope. I'm just going to close the recording. I'm going to say bye for people in the recording, and then we are going to talk about everything. All right. So here are some questions I want you guys to answer after this class. So how does aviation contribute to an increase in environmental pollution? How do you think the aviation community will deal with the increasing concerns about the environment? What are the biggest challenges in the industry, that the industry will face from now on? Do you believe alternatives like biodiesel could be possible in the near future? What can be done to decrease the aviation industry's carbon footprint, and how can airlines contribute with environmentally friendly solutions? All ICAO questions, all questions that have already been in the proficiency test. Okay, let me stop the recording here, guys. Guys, if you watch this class in the platform or on YouTube, thank you for your time. Hopefully this helped you, and this is part of our mentorship program. Today we talked about a very hard topic, and if you need anything, just feel free to contact me in the comments or get my number, email. In the platform, you can also find the chat, and let me know how I can help you more. All right, so thank you for being here. I'm going to continue the class with the people here live. All right.